I have finally made it to my first oil change in the new 2021 Silverado. And this thing calls for 8 quarts of the 0W20. And at first I was kind of skeptical, because if you've ever used the 0W20, it's like basically water. I mean, it's so thin. And so I'm going to use it. I've seen online where some guys are still using the 5W30 and everything, but to keep my warranty safe, I'm going to keep using it. And I'm using the AC Delco. Never used it. I'm going to use it now. It's got to be better than Fram. Hopefully none of you out there are using Fram. If so, throw it away. And then I've always put seafoam in my gasoline when I change my oil. I don't think it helps much with these new direct fuel injection, but I'm still going to do it just because it'll make me feel good, I guess. And I'll say, as I start getting to change this oil, the only thing I'm not going to like about it is I've got to get a step stool to reach that cap to pour the new oil in. So that's kind of a annoyance that I've got, but not too big of a one. And so I'm going to show y'all where the plug is. It's super easy to get to, super easy to find. So the only tools you'll need is a 15mm socket if you're like me and you have scrawny arms, a cheater's pipe, and then an oil filter wrench. I mean, it's super easy, and I've already got it done, but I was going to show you. Now, I will say how they put this drain plug. They put it pointing down instead of pointing out. And if you've ever owned one of the older Silverados, you know, they placed it on the side and not the bottom. And so when you place it on the side, right when you let that drain plug out, I mean, it would shoot across, and you never knew where it was going to land. And so you might miss your drain pan, you might hit it. And so it's super easy to get to now, and now when you let it goes straight down instead of trying to make a mess and going out. Now, I will say, when you put your new filter on, what I've always liked to do is get some of this new fresh oil and go around the edge of this ring. That way it kind of lubricates a little bit, keeps this gasket from sticking on the truck when you remove it for the next oil change. And then you fill it up. I like to fill it up before screwing it on there. That way no oil has to cycle through when you first start the truck. It's already in the filter, going through it. I've already got the old oil out of there. And so again, it was super easy to get to. You can kind of see it right there. It doesn't really make a mess. Again, like those old trucks, I don't know why they had it on the side and it just shoots out with it pointing down. It makes it a whole lot easier and less likely to make a mess. Now, these oil filters, you don't have to get them very tight. All you have to do is hand tighten them and then get an oil filter wrench and then just barely turn it. And that's all it needs. That way it keeps it nice and snug, but not too snug where that rubber gasket gets stuck on there the next time you go to change your oil. Now, as I dump in the seafoam, I will say this about changing your oil. I pay roughly about what someone would charge me if I told them which oil I wanted to use. I probably spend about $10 more doing it myself. And so the question is, why would you do it yourself when you could do it cheaper for somebody else, especially if you use a different oil? Well, it's this reason right here. I know how to maintain my truck. I know what's going in it. I know exactly when it's going in it and how it's going in it. If someone else is doing it, I have no idea what they're putting in most of the time. I don't know if they're doing the right thing, if they're really checking it, and all that. And the other thing is, man, changing your oil is the easiest thing to do. I mean, anyone can change your oil, and that's what's so perfect about a truck, especially if you have a truck. I didn't have to jack this up. I just laid right underneath it, and this is the mess I made. I didn't get any oil on the ground. I had to use a few rags. I had gloves, and so my hands aren't nasty. I spend about $80 on castor oil edge for the filter and all that, and then with the seafoam. If you've never changed your oil, just give it a shot. Anybody can change their oil, and you don't have to schedule it with anybody. You don't have to wait an hour to do it. It took me 15 minutes to change my oil, to get everything, get underneath, get the plug off, get the oil filter off, put the new one on, dump 8 quarts in, and I'm ready to go. And so again, I don't have to wait on anybody. I don't have to schedule an appointment. I just get in my garage and I do it. And so you're like, might be thinking, I don't have the tools. Go out, go to Walmart, get you a set of socket wrenches, get you an oil filter, get you a drain pan, get you a funnel, and then you're set to go. And if you have a car, there's some good ramps on Amazon probably some ramps at Walmart. And so again, get some rags and get some gloves also, so you don't make too much of a mess. I just like changing it better myself because I don't have to depend on anybody else, and I know exactly what's going in it. So hopefully this helps you out. I'm just glad this new Silverado made it to a little over 7,000 miles already without having any trouble. I keep hearing forums and I keep reading stories about guys' trucks messing up, and so I've kind of babied it, so I'm kind of glad nothing's messed up on it so far. So until the next oil change.